Some houses hold memories. Some houses hold shadows. And then there's the Ammons house. In 2011, LaToya Ammons, a single mother in Gary, Indiana, moved into a modest rental at 3860 Carolina Street with her 3 children, ages 7, 9, and 12. What was meant to be a fresh start quickly became a nightmare. Within days, the family noticed strange events. Lights flickered for no reason, doors slammed on their own, and a swarm of giant black flies appeared on the porch in freezing winter. At first, Rosa Campbell, LaToya's mother, dismissed the occurrences as coincidence. But soon, noises escalated, footsteps echoing in the basement, wet boot prints trailing across the living room floor. No one else was inside. Objects moved without contact. The children began speaking in voices that were not their own. The youngest boy was even seen walking backward up a wall. Neighbors were terrified, but official police reports later corroborated these claims. Desperate for help, LaToya contacted her local church. Father Michael Maginot, skeptical but concerned, visited. The atmosphere inside was thick, oppressive, almost alive. During a simple blessing, blinds swung violently, and a dark figure appeared behind LaToya. She felt hands press on her shoulders, though no one was near. That night, the family slept elsewhere, but the disturbances persisted and intensified. The sense of dread became inescapable. Each day brought new events, objects flying, shadows moving, and voices whispering. The children's behavior grew alarming. What should have been a safe home became a battleground. The family realized that this was no ordinary haunting. It was something far more sinister, something that would draw the attention of priests, police, and investigators alike. The children quickly became the epicenter of the activity. At night, their bodies would convulse violently, and their voices would deepen into guttural tones. One night, nurses at a local hospital witnessed the 7-year-old lift off his bed, eyes rolled back, screaming, "It's time to die." Fearing abuse, the hospital contacted the Department of Child Services, but LaToya insisted she never touched her children. When a caseworker visited with police, one boy walked backward up a wall and flipped over his grandmother, landing safely. Doctors and therapists were baffled. LaToya reported scratches on her arms, objects flying across rooms, and shadows whispering threats to her children. Multiple agencies documented the events, making this one of the most unusual paranormal cases in U.S. history. Father Maginot began performing minor exorcisms, observing LaToya's eyes turning completely black in violent convulsions during blessings. He described a malevolent presence filling the rooms. Even police officers who had initially dismissed the case later admitted witnessing things they could not explain. "I deal with crime, not demons," one officer said. National media caught wind of the story, drawing journalists, investigators, and Zach Bagans, who later documented the house in Demon House. The disturbances continued even after the family temporarily left the home. Shadows followed them. Objects moved on their own in new apartments, and the children continued experiencing episodes. The events were no longer just frightening. They were verified by multiple credible witnesses, creating one of the most documented and terrifying haunting cases in modern American history. Detective Charles Austin of the Gary Police Department investigated personally. Skeptical at first, he experienced electronic failures inside the home, malfunctioning cameras, and faint growls captured on his recorder. Photographs showed shadowy figures in windows where no one stood, misty outlines resembling faces, and objects moving without explanation. Austin admitted that he could no longer dismiss the events as coincidence. Father Maginot sought authorization for a full exorcism, the first in Indiana in decades. During one session, LaToya described intense pressure on her chest and hands gripping her throat. The children screamed as if unseen forces were shaking them. Rosa Campbell recalled, "You could feel the devil there. You could smell it. It was pure evil." The story divided skeptics and believers. Skeptics argued hysteria or stress, but trained witnesses, including police, medical staff, and child services officials, all documented the same terrifying events. The home became nationally known as the House of 200 Demons. Zach Bagans purchased the property, filmed it, and eventually demolished it for his documentary Demon House. Even after the house was gone, those involved said they could never forget the terror within. The experiences haunted investigators and clergy alike. For LaToya and her family, every step forward was overshadowed by memories of a presence that had invaded their lives, a darkness that seemed intelligent, relentless, and profoundly malevolent. Even after leaving the house, LaToya Ammons and her children experienced lingering effects. Doors slammed on their own, shadowy figures appeared in corners, and whispers called their names in empty rooms. The children, especially the youngest, sometimes woke in cold sweats, claiming something had touched them during the night. Medical professionals and therapists examined the kids thoroughly, but could find no signs of abuse or medical conditions explaining their behavior. Rosa Campbell, LaToya's mother, described the ongoing terror. It wasn't just a house, it was a presence that followed us. Every night, it whispered, it screamed. The fear never left. Multiple clergy members corroborated her story, describing spiritual oppression and evil that went beyond anything they had ever encountered. Father Maginot, in interviews, recalled, "During the exorcism, shadows moved against the walls, the temperature dropped drastically, and LaToya's eyes went black. I felt something pressed down on my chest. That wasn't human. That wasn't natural." The events drew national attention. Paranormal investigators, journalists, and television crews arrived in Gary, Indiana, documenting every strange occurrence. Photographs and videos captured floating objects, moving shadows, and terrifying episodes involving the children. Police reports, hospital records, and clergy testimonies formed a chilling timeline of events still studied in paranormal research today. If this story has your skin crawling, don't forget to hit like, share, and subscribe. And stay tuned for more real-life horrors that will leave you questioning the world around you. Every shadow could hide a story you're not ready to hear.